Yo, let's go. What's up, everybody? It's Crypto Oki, your Litecoin HODL Spirit Guide. Let's go. All right, but we're going to start with Bitcoin dominance chart just to kind of check it out. Um, and again, this is the one without USDT and without USDC because the other one kind of broke because ETH isn't making up enough percentage and it's just kind of it's not showing as well. But as you can see, we have this huge trend line dating back from January of 2022 all the way to now, and we are sitting pretty heavy on that line. I expect it to break down any week now, not this week, but any week relatively soon. Where this will fall, I have no idea. The 50, 40 area, I don't know, but I expect us to get a big dump out of this, which would mean that altcoins, ETH especially, will run. So I definitely keep an eye on Ethereum here, but my main focus on Litecoin. Litecoin. I think the date is July 27th, 2027. It can change. It will change, but that's kind of the expected having. So mosquitoes over there. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, see what happens here. But yeah, we want this to break below the 66 level, which I think it will soon. I'm hoping this is, well, that was the high back in July last year. And you had the ETH summer. So can we have another ETH summer? I think so. ETH fall. So yeah, let's check out here's the ETH Bitcoin chart. Getting a nice little bounce after the pullback. So I like this. I mean, I really like that it broke above this trend line or this kind of downward channel that had been dating back to the peak of Tom Lee ETH summer. So yeah, a little kind of consolidation in this going into August, breaking higher, and then the Bitcoin dominance chart falling as well. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on those two things. And this trend line is that weekly that has not been able to break since 2022. So kind of similar to the Bitcoin dominance chart in inverse, but you can kind of see. I think we'll tag this for sure. This 0.033 area in the coming weeks, and I do expect it to break higher. I do think that will happen because we had a low. We have clearly, if this holds, and this is a good area to hold, we'll have a higher low, and then maybe we can get back into this 0.05 area. That would make sense to me. Getting something like, yeah, I think ETH will go to the 0.05, 0.06 range against Bitcoin. Probably sometime next year that happens. I know some stuff is happening with Bitcoin, some fighting between the devs or just random people. Who knows? Who knows? But that's great for the rest of us, huh? Great for the rest of us. All right. Now let's go into Litecoin. Let's dive into that. And just here's that bigger time scale, which we have this weekly trend line, which is sitting right there. Same with the daily. So I'm just going to delete this. So here's that breakout we had yesterday. We confirmed it. And now, you know, you could kind of, and we had a higher high since April. So now we're kind of into this pattern, but I think it could pretty much take off. Let's hit the 200. Hopefully the 200 evens out a little. But if I kind of delete this for a second, you know, I mean, it's kind of at the price right now, but you can kind of see we have this. What kind of pattern do we have? I mean, just kind of a cup, um, kind of a head and shoulders. But we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 touches. So it wouldn't surprise me today to come up here and come back in this area. It wouldn't surprise me to kind of take a couple weeks, creating just a better base. Honestly, um, it's already pretty good, but you know, getting into the 100 days, that would be nice. But again, I'm liking this pattern. I'm liking this breakout, but I am considering it um, happening based on yesterday's price action. So that's our new kind of line, is the 0.0074 area. So let's see if we can get a follow through day. Litecoin has been tough. Sometimes just giving up gains has been so frustrating, which is why I like it. Everybody's out of it. There's nobody holding Litecoin. I mean, for trading purposes, why would you be holding Litecoin? I know it sounds kind of condescending, but it's the truth. And if you like losing money, that's great. And if you held for some reason, you're not selling now. I mean, so I think Litecoin's a great. I think it's kind of my play. I've been wrong on it since October in a way. I mean, I haven't been writing it down, but I've been thinking it's going up. But anyway, all right, let's get to the LTC ETH. This one not quite as good, and I think this might have a little bit of a glitch in this. I don't think that happened, but it doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, holding yesterday's gains, but still firmly right in the middle of this pattern. So that's why we got to keep an eye on that ETH Bitcoin. I mean, it's always the most relevant Bitcoin pair other than USD. So this one's doing all right. Let's get above this 0.026 area, and then let's get above the 0.028 area and see what happens. And that will really show us. This is kind of the laggard of the pairs that I'm looking at, but it's fine. All right, and now LTC XRP, which, I mean, again, think about everybody's into XRP now after the fact, and I think it's over in a way. I think it'll do good if everything does good, but I like this chart a lot. Broke out a couple days ago from a ascending triangle, so hopefully we just keep going up here. I don't know what will happen. Maybe to the 47 area before something. Maybe something that looks like this, but continuation. So I like that we're getting away from that, and we're above all the moving averages here, sloping up. So that's nice. So yeah, I mean, now you can kind of move this to something here. Yeah, really like this chart. the strongest. So that's great. All right. Now to the most important chart, Litecoin USD. We are firmly up against this downward wedge. Yesterday we tagged it. Today we are up in it. So the one thing we want to see is a big volume day, which, for a Saturday, that's a pretty nice bar. But we want to see like a double. We want to see a bar like this over here in green. So maybe that comes sometime next week when some people wake up, because nobody's, it'd be pretty hard to get a big volume day on a weekend, I have to imagine, but unless it's a dump. But that could happen. It starts pumping, people start chasing, and that's what we get. We get, into the 50s. That'd be great. So that's the next thing we're looking for. We're looking for a break of this trend line, close above it, and double volume. So again, there's that pattern that we're looking at. And I like that it's kind of more on the upper bands. So let's see how that plays out. It's looking pretty good. We just check out the 4-hour. I mean, it is what it is. It's a 4-hour chart. Got some nice volume here. Just confirm that breakout. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about Litecoin. I think this thing could be pretty explosive. Finally, well, one day it will be. One day it will be, and when everybody least expects it. So, we'll see. All right, let's check out the order book. Litecoin order book, we're seeing some selling, sporadic. It has been a good indicator. When you see a lot, it has gone down. We see a lot of green buying, it's gone up, but just doesn't seem to have tons, and it doesn't seems to be changing that pattern a little bit, but not completely. So that's interesting. All right, let's check out the other ones because they do matter. They do help, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not as sensitive to it, but the green usually pushes it up, so that's okay. ETH Bitcoin. And the ETH USD chart, this one this is what kind of has me cautious about that ratio in ETH, is just we have seen quite a bit of selling pressure. So that's why and with the pullback, and I think it's something to keep an eye on. Litecoin, Bitcoin, this one's also, keep an eye on. This is nice because every once in a while you get these red bands, which don't make it dump completely, but they do have, look, that was the peak. So we want to see a lot of this green. So that's good that we're not seeing any selling pressure against Bitcoin this time. And then again, this isn't too bad, but it's sporadic, so I like that. Stellar's having a nice little day. Stellar's in an interesting position. Just broke out like a few weeks ago or something, and it's in a little bit of a pullback kind of accumulation thing. XRP not looking that strong, which I'm not too high on XRP. This cycle, if we want to call this a new cycle, let's check out XLM. It likes to have these downward channels. Yeah, this is a nice little interesting pattern. I got a lot going on here. Let's just get rid of some of this. This was its bottom. It's retested pretty nicely. So, and it's resting, above its 200 day, which is not the same as Litecoin. So it kind of has a little bit more of a explosive potential, but it could also just dump over. And here's that big view of Stellar, which is kind of nice. So that's definitely an interesting looking chart. I mean, to be honest, it looks better on a monthly than Litecoin for sure. If you're looking at this, you're up in this area holding the lows of the 2022 bear market. This is a good pullback area actually. So we'll see. I mean, it's what we got. So 12 days left. How is the monthly? Got tons of time left. Yeah, I definitely want us to close towards the top of this red candle. Don't want it to be 50% or lower. It's probably, it's just at 50%. I want us to get into the $50 range. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Closing, maybe it retraces the whole candle. Yeah, that makes sense. That's I think my target of that little head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. So I'd like us to retrace this whole candle this month and then maybe pull back and close more towards the 50. That would be interesting. And here's that. Let me get rid of that. Here's the head and shoulders I'm talking about. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder with a break yesterday. And you could, if I'm putting it kind of conservative, $6.50 gets us to $52. You could 684. Let's see what that is. Yeah, so $52 to $53. That makes a lot of sense to me as our target, and kind of see what happens there. But so that's kind of what we're looking at with Litecoin. So it's a good time to be a Litecoin hodler. All right, let's go.